Welcome back to UFC Tonight. UFC fighters step into the octagon alone. They win alone and they lose alone. Now, unlike team sports, combat athletes have no one to blame but themselves for the results of a fight. But even though they fight alone, they do have a supporting cast that can not only make or break a fight, but an entire career. Well, what a way to start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the season premiere of Tough Talk. Karyn Bryant here alongside former middleweight king, tough winner, and coach, Mr. Michael Bisping. And, of course, a big welcome to this season's coach and #1 contender, Kelvin Gastelum. And
pick the fight. Tall guy against a short guy, but PM had a lot of experience, but I'm assuming you thought the height, the reach would be too much.
Yeah, 2 for 2.
All right, Kelvin. Well, listen, thank you, RJ. Folks, make sure you get your questions in using the hashtag #ToughTalk. The troll booth will find and may air your tweets on our show. Now, let's get back to the fight. So Maurice said that his strategy was going to be to keep the distance. You know, he's a tall guy. He's got a lot of arm, a lot of reach.
Yeah.
And then he rushes right into the clinch. So,
Yeah.
But speaking of that, though, he actually used to weigh a lot more, around about 330 pounds or something.
Right.
So did that tell you sort of a little bit about his work ethic or something? The fact that he's been able to sort of literally shed that, become a new person, and now he's already got a knockout on the show?
Yeah, no.
Welcome back to Tough Talk. Maurice Green has already established himself as the fighter to watch this season, and he can crochet as well. So, guys, actually, we're trying to figure out if you're as talented.
I'm just trying to teach Kelvin the ropes, okay?
Oh, were you? Okay.
Grandma, Kelvin, just do as I say.
We're going to see who can create the best item by the end
My
of the
grandma
show.
taught me when I was a little kid, and
So great.
I'm a man
Grandma.
of many talents.
All right, gentlemen, if you could crochet and talk for a little bit. Let's. Coming up in just 5 minutes, we relive the stellar performance from Justin Gaethje and share our reactions to the incredible knockout in 20 minutes. #1 contender and tough coach Kelvin Gastelum will be right here in this very studio to the lead-up of tonight's Ultimate Fighter season premiere. Now, in just over a half an hour, we're going to give you an inside look at what separates the best cornerman from the average. And in 45 minutes, the featherweight champ of the world, Max Holloway, tells us when he plans to return. Now, of course, UFC 229 and the return of Conor McGregor as he takes on Khabib Nurmagomedov is just 38 days away. We're counting down the minutes. UFC reporter Megan O'Leary is all over the biggest fight in MMA history. Have changed a lot. The ranking voters reacted to Gaethje's knockout as well. James Vick dropped out of the top 10, bumping Nate Diaz and Michael Chiesa up 1 spot. Now, Gaethje does remain at #7, so now that the highlight is back in the win column, guys, who should he face next? Guys, thanks so much. There were 4 knockouts on the main card, including Davison Figueiredo crushing former title challenger John Moraga. The Brazilian jumped up an incredible 8 spots. Welcome back to UFC Tonight. Of course, Khabib won the vacated lightweight title last April against Al Iaquinta after Tony Ferguson was forced out of the fight again because of injury. Now, DC, you have trained with Khabib. You hung out with Khabib. How has Khabib changed since becoming the champion?
You know what's the craziest thing about Khabib?
Conor entered the octagon last. He had a kid. He boxed Floyd, and he got into some trouble with the law, in case you hadn't heard. Do you think it's going to be difficult, Flo, for him to get back into MMA training 2 years after his last MMA fight?
You know, honestly,
there would be any benefits to Conor training at Floyd's gym versus the PI?
unless, you know, if he has Floyd himself, you know.
Right away that when Floyd said that, it was like, softball, can I take it back? Because you knew Conor was going to bat it away and kind of try to smash him, which he did. But he did show respect to Roger and Floyd's dad.
And Floyd Sr. All right, well, speaking of the Performance Institute, UFC reporter Megan O'Leary is on site in Vegas and is at UFC 229. You know, Khabib, of course, was here at the Fox Studios a few months back, and we talked to him about all sorts of topics, including our favorite topic, the double champ. Take a listen.
Every single week with random thoughts.
My God.
But you're right. That was English lesson #1 that I taught Khabib. I was like, listen, stay away from cats.
What's the deal?
Man, they slide up next to you. They're kind of evil looking if you look in their face. They're like the devil's pet.
They're planning
That's why I said
something.
I go, that's
They're
the devil's
planning.
pet. It's devil's pet. But you know what? I like dog, but I have cat.
Yeah, I
He's
like
the
dog,
best,
but I
sir.
like cat.
I hope you guys have a whole bunch of those stored
Yeah.
in the tank.
He is
That's good.
hilarious.
Yes,
All right,
he is.
folks, well, stick around. A #1 contender is in the building. This is UFC Tonight.